Are you a senior that is trying to make the difficult decision to move into senior living or to potentially downsize your home? Or are you a family member of a senior person who is needing to make this decision? That is what we're going to talk about today. I'm hoping to offer a little insight based on personal experience. So don't miss out. Hi there, it's Heather Evers with Your Best Life OKC, formerly Norman Homes and Lifestyle. If you get my newsletter, then you know I have changed my name. I have expanded my market into Oklahoma City, and I have moved into Oklahoma City. So still taking care of all my great Norman people, but now I am also in Midtown, downtown, all the OKC spots, and even Edmond, and just, I'm in the middle, so I'm all over the place. Let me know if you need something no matter where you're at. Today, we are going to talk about if you have a loved one that is a senior that is needing to go ahead and head into independent living. I'm actually dealing with this myself right now. I'm making the decision to move my mom into independent living, and it has been really eye-opening to me that there's a lot of needs that aren't really tapped anywhere. And it's been really difficult to find the professionals that we needed to help us with that. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to talk about what I've learned and how I can help. So whether you're a senior yourself or whether or not you're the family member of someone in this position, I hope I can offer some tips. So let's talk first about how you should really address this with your senior, assuming you are a caretaker. So for me personally, I have known that this decision was looming for a while due to some diagnosis for my mom. She's going to be dealing with some dementia and is already starting to deal with some dementia. So we have known that this was kind of coming down the tracks. It was a matter of deciding if and when she could still live independently. And if you're facing that decision, you know that it's brutal. So I think it's really important to learn from my mistakes and keep in mind that there is a right time. There's not a perfect time to make this call. And if you are making it on behalf of your loved one, just know that you're doing the right thing for them. You are helping them get access to the facilities that they need and the professionals that they need. And there's no shame in that game. So just know that I understand and I'm there too. Something else that I think is really important is when you go to make this call, you want to really check out your options. There are a lot of different kinds of independent living centers and assisted living centers. And, some have, like nursing care, and some are more like a little apartment. You are going to want to visit all over the place, just like you do when you're searching for a home, and you're going to want a professional to help you. And I did not know that there is a type of professional for that. They're almost like realtors for senior centers. When I found that professional, I was ecstatic because it didn't cost me anything, just like it doesn't to have a buyer's agent for a home. So they get paid essentially like a realtor does. Like if they find your loved one or yourself the right center for them and you move in, then that facility pays their, I don't know if it's a commission or a fee or how that works, but it's just like if I find you a house, it's the seller that pays my commission. I was thrilled to know that that is how that works and that we would have someone that could really guide us through this process. Once you discover that there's a list of places that you want to check out, there are lots and lots of things that you're going to want to take into consideration. You really want to pay attention to what kind of transit they have for your loved one. A lot of the centers will actually have like scheduled, essentially field trips for the seniors. And those can be to fun places, like one of the ones I just visited was about to take everybody to Brahms for National Ice Cream Day. I thought that was awesome. But you can also schedule them for their doctor's appointments and things. I think the one that we ended up choosing will transport the senior 10 miles to a doctor's appointment if scheduled, And then if they need to transport them further than that, they can add like a transit fee to their monthly cost. So I thought that that was really interesting. While we're talking about the cost for these senior centers, there was a lot of confusion and a lot of anxiety, at least there was for me, about how much these places cost. So it is exorbitant, the fees that a lot of these places charge monthly for like the rent. But here's the thing, once you start to really add up what they cover, I actually was really impressed. Like at my mom's center, they are going to include any and all dining for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They cover entertainment evenings, like they have like a popcorn movie night. All her utilities are included, so she's not gonna have, you know, an electric bill and a water bill and a trash bill and all that. At the end of the day, it is still very expensive. So some things that I learned about that are that you can essentially utilize your loved one's funds until they run out, if they run out, and then you can also utilize Medicaid in that situation. So you'll want to talk to someone who is a specialist in Medicaid benefits, but there is a way to get them qualified for Medicaid to pay for all or part of their senior living costs. So that's something else you want to check out. You want to look at all the different facilities. You're going to want a senior care advisor that helps you find a place. You're going to want someone who specializes in Medicaid, just so far. Some other things that you're going to want to consider are whether or not your loved one or yourself need professional therapy during this transition. It is highly emotional. It is really exciting to find your loved one a space that you know they're going to get the care they need, but it is also the end of an era, and it's very emotional to make those decisions, in particular if, like me, you're dealing with dementia and you're making decisions on behalf of another adult. So consider whether or not you need some therapeutic resources, potentially a support group. There are those out there. So put that on your list, that you just might want to get that for yourself or for the transferee. I think it's important to find out what kinds of activities each center is typically providing. I was really excited to see some of the options. There's like a little salon sometimes for them. There's like an arts and crafts room. There's all kinds of entertainment and exercise that is provided for these seniors, and it really helps them fill their time and have some enjoyable experiences. It is not the doom and gloom that you see on TV of people just, you know, sitting around in their wheelchairs staring at the wall. I'm certain that that exists somewhere, and that makes me sick. But the centers that I visited throughout Norman and Oklahoma here were just, it was great. Everyone was very, very kind and upbeat, and the energy, the vibe around all the seniors was just really peaceful and happy. So take comfort in my words that that's what my experience was like. So you will want to think about what kind of health care options there are for your senior. They have different, typically like levels of care that you can opt in for. So independent living is more like them being in an apartment and they have someone kind of checking in on them. And then they can go down to the dining room for eating and go in for activities and things like that. Once you get into like assisted living, it is more like they are having healthcare providers come into their room to tend to them on a regular basis. And then of course there are centers that have memory care, which is specifically for seniors that are, you know, that are dealing with dementia and need help, you know, navigating the day-to-day of not having their memory. So before you jump the gun and actually make this move to an independent or assisted living center for your loved one, we could discuss whether or not they just need to downsize. That is something I can obviously help with. If you're dealing with trying to unload a house, that potentially has just been packed for years and years and years. My mother's house, she had been in for over 40 years, and she was a keeper. She liked to hang on to things. So if you need help just navigating the removal process, I have a lot of good contacts, people who can help you with an estate sale if you need that, people who can come in and pack and remove belongings, whether they're going somewhere else or whether or not they just need to be removed from the home. Those are contacts I can help you get set up with. If you need to sell a house, obviously, and then potentially buy something maybe that doesn't require as much care, I can help you find something. There, are a lot of neighborhoods, traditional residential housing neighborhoods, that actually have all the lawn care and everything taken care of as a part of the HOA dues. So if that's the kind of thing you're looking for before you make the senior center jump, talk to me about that. I can definitely help. And if not, then I'm going to try to have a lot of these resources put together so that if you are dealing with a senior that's making these moves, I can provide you some additional contacts, the ones that I've just recently been collecting. So I'm adding that to my arsenal, and if you need those contacts, I have them for you. Another thing to think about is the family dynamic when you go into this process. Is someone the power of attorney? If not, I highly recommend you go ahead and get that set up as quickly as possible. In my scenario, I'm going to end up needing to make decisions for my mother, and I don't know when that will come into play. So right now, it's kind of back and forth depending on whether or not she's having an on or an off day, what choices I need to make for her. But before too terribly long, I will be in the position of needing to take care of her as if she were a minor. So you definitely want to add that to your list. Check out Power of Attorney. So I really just wanted to offer you some of the insight, some of the learning that I have, obtained here just recently dealing with this. And then I do have a lot of experience actually with helping seniors move out of their homes and into smaller homes, different homes, apartments, just needing to sell in general when they're in that scenario. So I'm here to help if I can, and if I can just give, a word of advice or just a shoulder to cry on while you're dealing with this, I get it. So let me know if you need anything, and I hope that you'll be keeping an eye out for some more of my videos. I hope that if you are following in my footsteps here, that you are able to find some positivity about it. This can be an exciting change. You can feel a lot of relief knowing that your loved one is going to have the support they need, and that you're going to have the support you need caring for them. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit today. And before you go, please like my video, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you see when I post my next video, and check out some of my other tips and tricks on my other videos. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.